Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Just let me finish setting the table and I'll be right back. What's up, everybody? It's Nick from the Lost River Drive-In here, and tonight I can finally talk to you guys about what was one of my most anticipated movies of this entire year, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. Now, first, I just have to say, yes, they were handing these posters out and it was really sick, but on the back, it's hilarious because it's like a coloring sheet that says, "Get those red crayons and colored pencils ready. It's going to be messy. This Thanksgiving, fear comes in every shade." So that's fun. Obviously, I'm not going to color on it, but hey, A+ marketing. You guys know how I do these things. This is going to be spoiler free. If I wanted to get into a spoiler, it will be at the end of the video, and I will give you a warning. Do not worry. So the plot is basically Plymouth, Massachusetts, 2022. A department store is having a Black Friday sale, and a bunch of rabid consumers, like we all are in America most of the time, storm a building, and a bunch of people die because of it because they've got to get their waffle irons. And a year later, somebody wants revenge on the people that were involved for almost inciting the mob. And it's just, that's the plot, really. That's the entire plot. Okay, first and foremost, I have to say, this is Eli Roth. So there was a lot in this movie that was just so Eli Roth. And what I mean by that is his gore, over the top. Just insanely over the top sometimes. Not to the point where it's like unbelievable, but there's comedy to almost every kill. It is not, it's gross, but it's in a way that it's almost, you can't help but laugh. You can't help but smile. It's gleeful. It's depraved. That starts from the very beginning with the people, breaking into the store and trampling people. It's like played up for laughs too. It is horrible, but it's kind of funny at the same time. It's also just a great message toward consumerism in America. I loved that. So know what you're getting yourself into with that. I think that the premise in and of itself is very, very simple. And whoever this killer is has motivation to want to do what they come back to do a year later. That leads to this John Carver killer just absolutely eviscerating people in some of the most fun ways I've seen on the big screen in a long time. It was fun like Terrifier was, in the sense of these kills are just so over the top at times. You're having such a good time. You're not grossed out. You're just smiling. And I was here for it. I gotta say, the cast here, honestly, all of them did a really good job. I don't even know who this Addison Rae person is. I know that she's like an influencer. So I was worried because I was like, I don't think this girl has acted before. She was fine. She wasn't great. She wasn't bad. She was fine. But Patrick Dempsey steals the show as the sheriff. Patrick Dempsey is such a believable, nice guy that you just feel like if he was your sheriff, your town would be safe. You would everybody would be all right. He's that guy, and he's so good at it. I love his Boston accent. God, Dempsey's so good in this movie. But the cast all around, everybody does a really good job. This is a movie in the vein of Halloween Kills, I would say, that's almost like an ultra slasher. It's trying to be a throwback to those movies, that era of movies, except this one's just far more well written. The character dialogue here is a lot more believable. These teenagers feel like teenagers. These people feel like real people and real events. None of this feels too over the top to where it's unbelievable. It's just a very, very solid script, a very solidly acted movie, and it looks great. I love the setting. I think personally, this might be Eli Roth's best directed film. It looks really, really good. And I know this was filmed in Canada, but they absolutely capture, the New England type look and aesthetic. It's great. It looks awesome. I think that this fits totally in Thanksgiving, that time of year in, the Northeast. I just think that it's awesome. This movie doesn't really ask you to think that much. This truly is a movie that is just an over-the-top, zany slasher. It is absolutely a love letter to those movies. There's a lot of twists and turns here with thinking someone might be a part of something, and there's definitely some red herrings and some, false positives, I guess you could say. And it kind of keeps you guessing and it keeps you on your toes at times. But even then, it's not really what you're here for. What you're here for is these crazy kills. And you do want to find out who's doing this and why. But you're just waiting like, all right, when's John Carver going to show back up? Because I want to see somebody die in like a disgusting way. I mean, without giving stuff away, there's like a dumpster kill that I was just like, I was laughing at in a great way. There's, how do we say this? Let's just say a turkey kill, and it was insane. The kills in this movie, they're just so unique and they're so inventive, and they're really, really done up for dramatic effect. And I just think that it was awesome. So, I mean, obviously I was really looking forward to this movie because I really wanted it to be this kind of movie. I didn't want them to try to say too much with this movie or make people think too much or have too many plot threads here and there and left and right. No, it's a very streamlined movie. It is absolutely the slasher that it promised itself as. I genuinely have one complaint, and I will get to that at the end of the video. I only have one complaint in this movie, and it's the only thing that's keeping it from a 5 from me. But I might make it a 5. I don't know. I have it a 4.5 right now. But I have to say, Thanksgiving has easily become like a holiday horror classic already. Like, Blood Rage, Thanksgiving, move over. Like, move over. This is the Thanksgiving horror movie. Like, it just really is. This movie's not going to be divisive. And that's what I love about it. Like, this movie, I think most people you're either going to love this movie or you're going to be like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, but it's not going to piss anybody off. Like, I do not think this movie is in any way controversial. And that is really refreshing because it's literally just a throwback slasher in all the most fun ways. And I don't see how somebody couldn't have a fun time with it. And I want to say, too, before I get into something else, I saw this with a pretty packed theater. And this was the most interactive I've had a crowd in I can't tell you how long. People laughing, people talking to the screen. It was awesome. Like, it was so awesome to be in a theater where everybody was just like invested. And I don't even just say that lightly because it literally never happens. I don't see that anymore. So I was almost kind of blown away by that. I was like, wow, like these people are into this. And when the movie ended, there was a group of people a couple rows in front of me, and I was still sitting there. I was, typing up my tweet that I was putting out, and I heard one of the ladies say, that's one of the best movies we've seen in a while. And that made me really smile. Like, I was like, I just sat there for a second. I stopped typing, and I was like, man, like, you could just feel it in the air in that theater. And that was really cool. So Thanksgiving's a 4.5 out of 5 for me, guys. It might very well go to a 5. This is just a nitpick, and I'll get into that in just one second. But yeah, I really, aside from one thing, don't really have issue with this movie at all. And I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is rife for a sequel. It's asking for a sequel. This movie, go see it. I want this sequel. This movie is begging for a sequel. God, Eli Roth, please deliver it. Go see this freaking movie. But this is a spoiler warning. There are 2 things I'm going to talk about that are going to be spoilers. This is your notification. This is your warning. Get out now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, first off, my one nitpick with this movie. The very end. That's like the only thing dragging it down for me. So anticlimactic. So corny. It was like a throwback in a way almost to like, it seemed like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. But like, it had this supernatural element that just wasn't what this movie was the entire time. And then you find out like it's a dream and it ends very anticlimactically. So like, up until that point, I would have been like 5 across the board. And they didn't nail the very end for me. They really, really didn't. I might warm up to it. And it definitely is setting itself up for a sequel. So maybe I'll go back after there's a sequel and go, okay, it's fine. I have forgiven it. So that's my one nitpick, my one gripe with this movie. And the second spoiler thing I have to talk about because I couldn't not. Patrick freaking Dempsey, dude. Yes. He is so over the top. He's hamming it up. He's having a great time. I didn't expect it. I did not expect it. I'll tell you the truth. I thought it was the deputy. I absolutely did. Did not expect that whatsoever. I was pleasantly surprised. And once the reveal happens, he is just so insane. And I'm like, dude, yes. And there's a moment where he's like, Jessica, this year, there will be no leftovers. And I'm sitting in my seat just going like, yes, I'm here for this. Just incredible. So Patrick Dempsey, you get all the flowers, all the awards, standing ovation, claps, all of it. He was fucking incredible. But guys, go see this movie. Seriously, if you've seen it, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and can't find my knife, but it's carving time, so I'm pulling out.